today, and I just want to welcome today Dr. Haque, who is the Professor Dr. Mohammed Mojibul Haque. He's an ND, Ph.D. in bioorganic chemistry. Is that right?
Correct.
And also certified functional medicine consultant. He's a board certified doctor of naturopathy. Studied nutrition also at Harvard University. So welcome today. And I'm glad that we're doing this together.
Thank you for introduction.
You're welcome. And we wanted to talk about nutrition today for adults as well as children. And I'm just going to ask you some questions. And we welcome your children too. Tell me what their names are.
My name
Yes.
My name is Kumar, and I have a YouTube channel too. I have 2 YouTube channels.
Wow. Well, we'd love to hear about that. That sounds wonderful.
One of my channels is on the Real Dr. Haque's Facebook page. But please go and subscribe before and when I get to 100 subscribers, my sister's second channel will be posted on the thing. She really needs subscribers when I get to 100 subscribers.
Wow, you've got some big goals there. Congratulations.
I posted a lot of videos, so there's a good reason why it's on this page.
And Amina.
Beautiful.
No, you're
Well, you have beautiful children. And how old are they?
I'm 25.
Amina.
She's 25. Huh?
She's 8. And Amma, how old are you, Gubba?
I'm 10.
Okay.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, wonderful.
And then go.
Okay, well, I want to share that on my channel I started a series as my when I posted my first time a video, I posted as the first Islam sharing ever, and it's a series where I just share a certain aspect of Islam.
Okay, that's good. And what else?
And I also a lot of I also recited I think in 3 surahs.
Okay. Okay, Amina. Okay, bye, guys.
Well, wonderful. It's great to bring them on because we're talking about that today, right?
Yes.
We're going to be talking about children's health and wellness through nutrition, as well as adults today too. So let me ask you, my first question I have for you is, why do you think there are so many different ideas and misconceptions between kids and children's diets?
Definitely. As you know that in the society we are in, we have a lot of misconception. And because of that, we are trying to be healthy. We are trying to raise our kids with a proper nutrition, but we couldn't do that. And because of that, so much frustration among our moms who want to give their kids the best education, best health, best food, best nutrition, best life, but they couldn't do that. And you know what happened? The society we are in right now, the food is not food anymore. Food are so much. Food are herbicide, insecticide. On our plant-based food are so much. The animal food are so much antibiotic and steroid fed and growth hormone. It's like a huge mess. In addition to that, what happened? Look at if I mention the top 5 things, there's a lot of issues we need to focus. But in a short live session, I'm going to focus like few top things that we need to focus that we are bombarded with a wrong message or we are confused with. So I want to clarify that today. Number 1 is food-wise, like a whole wheat bread or whole wheat pasta or whole wheat. It's a very cool word, but when you dig down, whole wheat, it's a wheat that's genetically modified. When you have a whole wheat, they use a lot of dye and bleach, and they use processed sugar. You see, so by looking at the wheat sugar, whole wheat, we get attracted so much, and then we got into the trap. So we got to be careful when you see whole wheat. It is whole wheat, but remember, wheat 30 years ago is not the wheat right now, because right now, in 1979, Dr. Norman Bullock, when he modified the genetically wheat, when he modified wheat genetically, and we didn't know that would make it so much mess. And now that gluten sensitivity is everywhere. You see, if you go in a restaurant to eat, you see there is a certain area people are gluten sensitive. You see in a buffet, you need to see certain option gluten free. You have to see an aisle that gluten free section. Why? Because people are gluten sensitive. It didn't happen before. Because why gluten sensitive? Because of genetically modified wheat. You see, so number two. If you look at number two, the fruits and vegetable chips, because we all know that chips is bad. Chips with a lot of bleach and salt and sugar and fry and processed oil. We know that. But if you see vegetable chips, fruit chips, we find, wow, I got good thing for my kids. But think about it, they used processed oil. They use same sodium, same excess sodium. They use same salt. They use same processed oil. They use same kind of preservative, right? So if you need to have them with the fruits and vegetable chips, make their own at the home. Use the coconut oil or olive oil. Make your own healthy chips from the fruits and vegetables. If you look at if you go number third problem I found raising my kids, as you saw my kids, what I found that it's a yogurt. Wow, people think yogurt is a medicine. Yes, it is. No doubt about it. But yogurt, the one small portion of the yogurt have a 37, 35, or 32 gram of sugar. And this is not a brown sugar, it's a pure white sugar. So by looking at yogurt, we don't get time, or we don't be careful to look at the amount of sugar, processed sugar in there. And imagine 32 gram sugar they're taking by just small portion, one side of yogurt. So how much destructive, how much deadly that would be in our body. It's like a worse than cigarette. You can put your kids on the cigarette instead. It would be better. It's not. I'm not saying that much are deadly. And if you go, I'm going to mention one more point, like 100% vegetable juice, 100% juice, 100% orange juice, 100% apple juice, right? And apple juice is perfect. Fruits are best for the kids' food. But what happened? The bottle juice are pasteurized. When they pasteurize, there is no vitamin mineral exist. It's a pure sugar. It's become a pure processed sugar. And the top of that, they put some kind of preservative, and then there is no fruit juice exist. They all died. They all get changed as a process because they need to pasteurize to keep in the shelf. So that's not the good part. That has to be from our pure fresh fast food. I say fast food fruits because the blueberry, strawberry, they're fast, they're ready. You can just eat them instead of taking from the bottle juice. And one more thing is, a lot of time our parents tend to give them microwave and frozen food. So microwave food is change the structure. The frozen food, they deplete the nutrients. So we are giving kids the food. We are thinking it is okay, but actually it's not okay because that's so much industrialized, so much urbanized. We forgot that the food to eat the right type of food in a proper condition, in a proper certain level of process, that grossly processed and frozen and fried, and that's the misconception that we have. And because of that, what happened? The disease becomes so pandemic. Our 1 out of 3 kids nowadays is going to be ADHD. This is not the cool thing that you can see. In school, when I was in school, I barely saw someone ADHD. Now that ADHD is a common thing in the school. The attention deficiency is very normal, and people take it very easily. And autism, I never saw autism baby there. When I was in school, I was looking to see how autistic baby look like, how they act. And when I saw first time, I was so curious, surprised. Now autistic baby is everywhere. You see, so because of the mistakes, we see the results too.
Exactly.
Lori, if you want, you can share that in your Facebook profile. We have a lot of people are asking questions. We're going to be asking questions later. Right now, someone say, hey, hello, Dr. Lori. Someone says that People people asking a lot of questions. We'll answer at the end. Please keep writing your questions, and then we'll have certain discussion. Then we'll come back to your question.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and answer the questions later. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, Sadia. I appreciate that. And we will answer those questions later. So I have another question for you, Dr. Haque, is according to the science, exactly what is the best nutrients that we can give, essential nutrients, what do our children really need in order to be successful and have smart brains, and not ADHD, which is happening a lot with our kids because of the food they're eating. Could you?
There is no difference between kids and adults and the type of food they need. Because human body is same. It could be you, it could be me, it could be kids or senior person, all are same. So what we need, the kids need same types of food: micronutrient, vitamin, mineral, water, macronutrient, protein, fat, and carbohydrate. So, so that is the normal. So, but the kids, like when they get, very young, like my kids, like 5 to 10 years old, they need about 1,000 calories. They need about 3 to 5 gram of protein. When they get older, like 15s or they get teenager, they need a little bit more, like 15 to 2,000, calories, depending on their activity and age. And likewise, protein also having like 5 to 8 gram of protein, protein based on their age and activities. So, but in terms of micronutrients, there is lots of mineral, there is lots of vitamins. So, and there is every day. So what we are having kids with some kind of French fry, chicken fry, and rice or bread. What do they get their micronutrients from?
Yeah.
So they have to have some kind of fruits. They have to have some kind of vegetables, plants. Some has to be raw because vitamin C are existed only in the raw vegetables or raw fruits. So and vitamin C is essential. They need every day. It's water soluble. They pee out every day. So they need to have every day so they can have their the good antioxidant in the body, and then the vitamin C, and then the other vitamins are found all types of plants and other sources, all kinds of plants and seeds and beans and fishes and meat. So that's I'm coming to the macronutrient, which is protein, fat, and carbohydrate. So
right.
At the protein sources, they can choose all kind of seafood. They can choose the lentil. They can choose the free range meat. Cage-free meat, cage-free egg. They need to have wild caught fish because farm-raised meat. They have a lot of steroids. They put a lot of medicine. That was steroid become very big at size of like 600 pound of cow. They make a big chicken in 20 days. What do you expect from that? And they put only steroid and grain. That's it. So they don't have a nutrient. Those meat, those kind of eggs and milk doesn't have a nutrient. So we need to go naturally grown chicken, fish, fish. I mean, saltwater fish. It could be from lake, and the meat has to be free range meat, and then there are non-animal sources also available. Even a lot of time, a lot of people non-animal sources better than animal sources, like a soy, like a beans and peas and lentil. There's a lot of seeds, like a avocado. This could be very good source for them, for the protein and fat sources. And in terms of carbohydrate, so in terms of carbohydrate, what things need to stop right away is a wheat, because it is proven that the protein is sensitive. And there is one research showing that 50% American are gluten sensitive. Even though government, American Dietary Association says only 8% people are gluten sensitive, 7 to 8%. But unofficial data, like private data showing that 50% American are gluten sensitive. Imagine every kid depending on their bread, pasta, cereal, cookie, coffee, all kind of made of wheat. So that is stop. I have everything at home. I have a pasta, cereal, cake, everything I have at home, but non-wheat, made of rice, made of brown rice, made of quinoa, made of millet, made of sweet potato, made of buckwheat, made of lentil, made of chickpeas. You see, we can have that everything they want. Then because no food is bad, God did not create anything bad. We made it bad. Wheat was not bad. We modified the wheat gene. Now we made it bad. Now we don't blame God gave us wheat. It's not God's fault. He cannot do wrong. So we messed up our food, that the creation, that the blessings that God given us. So
Yes.
go back to the nature. And having body natural, it look for natural food, not the certain way it is modified. So that's why if you put the right carbohydrate, yeah, you can have rice, brown rice. You can have bread, pasta, cereal, sandwich, everything, but made of non-wheat. That would be the carbohydrate source, and then, as I said, protein source. So we can have everything, but natural source. Certain things should not be given to the fruits. I said like a fruit juice, like a wheat made product, the processed sugar, processed salt, and then industrial oil. That is the deadly, more deadly than even cigarette. So because
Right.
the way it is processed, this all kind of industrial canola, peanut, and then what is called vegetable oil. So these processed oil are deadly because they process so much, it become inflammation in the body, and inflammation is the one causing all the disease. Inflammation is the one making their brain dysfunction, and then and the nervous system issue, and then they become brain issue, become a ADHD or all of the issue.
Right. And allergies. Allergies is big too with the wrong foods.
They get so much allergy to the food nowadays.
Yes, yes. And I have a question for you too, just off the cuff. As
Mhm.
far as with probiotics, so many of our children now are becoming constipated,
Mhm.
and I think it's because of the sugars. I think it's because of all the breads. And so, as an adult, as a naturopath, we always say a good probiotic is important. As a child, though, and a digestive enzyme to help them to also go through that. Do you recommend that for children, or do you stick with the food pretty much like fermented foods, for example?
Right now, pretty much I came from grocery. Remember, we supposed to have a live 10 o'clock, and I went from. I came back from the grocery, and actually I was texting when I was in grocery, by the way. So
Right.
I was not able to communicate very well. So yes, so what I do always when at the grocery, I buy all kind of probiotic, kefir, kombucha, kimchi, yogurt, sauerkraut. I get all kind of things part of
Okay.
our kids' meal or everyone's meal. But in addition to that, since we have a lot of antibiotic, fat, animal sources food, um,
Hmm.
and we've been taking this for our whole life. So what I do, everyone of my family, everyone of my patients, I always give probiotic. So 16 billion per day for the older adult, and then for the younger, like my kids' age, like 9, 10, I give them about 4 billion per day. So 2 billion in the morning, actually 8 billion per day. I give them 4 billion in the morning, 4 billion in the evening. I
Oh,
will
so you do. Okay.
a little baby. I always give him 2 billion every other day. So I give head capsule every other day to him, and he's got like perfect health.
Wow. That's wonderful to know. Because,
Yeah.
as parents, we just don't know. Like my child was having constipation issues. And what I realized was it was because he was holding it at school. And when you hold it over and over every day in school, eventually you start having digestive issues.
When he cooks, when he has pizza, burger, sandwich, and the meat, and all kind of animal fat have antibiotic that killing the gut flora. That they
Hmm.
have a probiotic for sure.
Okay, great. And so, what's the optimum diet for a child then, as far as your meal guidelines for kids? What would you recommend?
For the kids, optimal guideline, what I follow for my kids, um, they can have a 2 meal. They don't need to have a breakfast, but they can have a breakfast with like a simple breakfast, like fruits and honey, and then some of course they're hydrated. And if they're weekend, I do recommend them have a big breakfast as a brunch, lunch, and breakfast, because they wake up late and then have a good breakfast with it. And that breakfast would be egg, fruits, it could be avocado, wild oat, not the quick oat. Quick oat is a processed. It makes indigestion. There are no sugar, no nutrient there. They can have a egg, cheese, butter, and homemade gluten-free cookies. All kind of cookies, cake, pastry, waffle, pasta, noodles. They can have everything, but non-wheat they can buy, or we can make it at home. And of course, they have to be egg and healthy fat. Like a keto, like a ketogenic breakfast would be always good. I know, even adult. If someone
Right.
is adult, they can have a ketogenic breakfast, no problem.
Right.
When it comes to lunch, they have to have some kind of raw vegetable and cooked vegetable. Raw vegetable because vitamin C or any other mineral and lot of micronutrient doesn't gets bad when you eat when you cook. So everyone needs to have some portion of the raw vegetable, and then cooked vegetable, lot of fiber, lot of nutrient become absorbable when they're cooked vegetable. And then you can have carbohydrates. Carbohydrate has to be wheat free. It could be it could be carbohydrate, could be simple, as I said, quinoa, millet, buckwheat, sweet potato, simple red potato or white potato, all kind of things, but not the wheat, not the white rice. Not the then it's fine. And then they can have healthy protein and fat. They can have salmon fish. They can have any wild caught fish. Naturally grown chicken and raw milk. Raw milk has to be raw. When you pasteurize the milk, it become like a body can digest it because it depletes all kind of enzyme that in the milk. So milk has to be raw eaten. You can warm it up; it's not a problem. But the way they pasteurize with a very high temperature for a long time, the pasteurized kills the all 20,000 enzyme. Supposed to be feeding our bodies, feeding our tummy with the milk. But this milk are dead, like a dead milk. We cannot give them to the kids, and then ended up kids get sick. They have a tummy issue. They have a indigestion, constipation, all kind of issue. And of course, the kids can have a bean in the lunch. Can have a lentil. Can have legumes. No problem. They can have a cheese, butter, ghee, of course, avocado.
Love
When-
avocado.
yeah. When it comes to dinner,
Great, good fat.
Yeah, very very good fat. When it comes to dinner, they can have same thing, some cook or some if once in a meal out of lunch and dinner, they can have a one meal with raw vegetables. Other meal they don't have to have a raw vegetable because they already have the necessary vitamin C and the micronutrient they need because they don't need too much. Nobody needs too much micronutrient, but they need every day. So in the dinner, something they can do either raw or cooked vegetable, and they can healthy fat, protein. As I mentioned, you can similarly, but they need to be cooked with a coconut oil or mustard oil or any whole oil, not the processed oil. That is the problem. And olive oil should be good too. Coconut oil should be good too. Coconut oil is saturated. You can cook whole day. It's not going to be broken down. So it's good to cook, And that, and in addition to that, there is certain practice, certain habit we need to accommodate as parents, which is number one is we need to eat together with the kids. We need to shop, we need to cook, we need to eat. All need to be together. So kids learn how to cook. For me, I grow vegetable with the kids. So they know how to grow. And when they go shop, they go with me. When they cook with me. When they eat with me. So you know the whole story, how to grow, how to cook, how to eat, how it is so blessing.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, getting a meal from the refrigerator, they don't know what is this. And a lot of times kids now in US right now, a lot of kids know that maybe chicken coming from the refrigerator. We know that. We need to know how the fish is grown, how the chicken is grown. So that we understand the value of it, right? And another thing I have a suggestion for the parents is we start fighting with the kids. Eat that, eat this. That is, if you do battle, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, I agree.
We need to get them involved. We need to show the value. We need to show the difference of the other kids eat. My daughter always asks that, Baba, they are eating those food, and then why I cannot eat that food? I said, they are gonna be sick like they're following other people. If you follow other people, you're gonna be sick too.
Yeah.
I have to spend a lot of money in the hospital. I don't want to spend money in the hospital. I want to spend money with the food so I can, spend the wise way, better way, not spending in the hospital. So, and then another thing is a prayer and meditation. So kids need to pray before the meal. Every faith has a prayer system. In a
Yes.
Muslim faith, it says that there is a prayer before faith. And Christian people, I ate them. I have dinner many times in many places in Wisconsin. Always I used to have that. I saw beautiful prayer system. It's so
Yes.
powerful. It's so powerful for the body. Body gets ready for the food. And when
Yes.
you eat for the food, body secrete the proper enzyme, proper the digestive juice, and then hormonal balance, and the body and mind get ready to absorb that food. So prayer is very important. They become so much appreciated. The kids learn how to be so much grateful that the reward God given to us as a food to survive, right?
Right.
One thing there's a lot of advice I have in my mind, but one last piece of advice I have in my mind is
Uh-huh.
be as a role model. Being father, if I don't eat healthy, I cannot tell them eat healthy. If I
Yes.
say bad word, they will follow my word because they learn
Yes.
from us. They don't know anywhere. They have no other place to learn by parents. If parents doesn't follow healthy life, parent doesn't sleep properly, sleep on time, parent doesn't follow the courtesy, parent doesn't be example or model, what they're gonna do? They're gonna do the same thing. So we have to not only involve kids, we have to make ourselves as a parents to be role model, so they'll follow us, they can be successful.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. And one thing I want to add to it, what I've done also, the original prayer, blessing over your food is actually blessing for the health benefits of that food too. And as a Reiki person or energy person, I'm an energy bio practitioner from a medical device as well as hands-on healing. And you can literally bless your food, which gives it the life-giving properties of the food again. And you can do that with your water, and actually bless that water. Like Emoto showed, with the water studies, he would bless the water, send it love, and then the water would have those properties. It would actually be a sweet water, so that's something we can all do as well, because that's what I'm passionate about, is helping people to heal themselves. And that's one method that they can do. And I wanted to ask you also, my son was a texture eater. So he was one of the hardest kids to feed. And I just wanted to find out, what would you recommend for a parent that was having a picky eater like that?
We just need to involve. We just need to be educated that what is food, what is not food. We just show them the things of the food that can put in your body. In addition, that we need to teach them how to be appreciated, that this is the food, this is not the food. What you're eating is not. Maybe this is a better food for you. And this is what you can do literally. But another thing you need to look at their digestive juice. Sometimes they don't have enough digestion power. Their intestine is not clean enough to secrete enough enzyme. They don't have enough good blood soda in the stomach. So lack of the digestive juice, lack of the gut health, they don't feel to eat. So forcing not gonna work unless they help them to fix their health, so that they can feel that they can feel to be hungry. And in addition, the thing is nowadays the kids, they grow up when they go to college, when they go to high school, they start following their friends. Friends
Yeah.
eat pizza, their friends eating chili chicken, and yeah, they can eat once in a while, but not as a regular meal. That's the problem. So maybe we need to spend more time with them. We need to cook together. We need to see that in the differences. And one other thing is nowadays. Education is missing. The health education is missing. Kids learning science, technology, society, history, geography, and math and science, but they're not learning the health enough.
Yeah.
One of the most important issues, one of the important things they need to learn for their life.
Yes.
Because of
It
that,
is.
that needs to be taken care of as well.
Sounds great. So let's talk a little bit about lifestyle then. What do you recommend for children's lifestyles in addition to have a good body and have good exercise and that kind of thing? What other things do you recommend for your children?
Of course, my children I recommend, of course, diet is first. Then they need to be active. They need to active. Nowadays, we are acting like a couch, like couch potato, and they're gonna follow that. They're gonna now the kids is like depending on the tablet so much. They're fully depending on the device. Their school is based on the device. Their games, everything. Like, no, they need to go out. They need to play. They need to get to in touch with nature.
Yes,
They
so
go
important.
and then get a soothe their body, make a harmonious environment to the natural microbiomes, to get the oxygen, then to get sunlight. You see, we are missing these huge beneficial things that the world is created with, and that is good for us. And we are missing the whole part. So we need to go back there. Number one thing,
Absolutely.
and number two is fitness. So fitness very strong is important. They need to do sports, all kind of sports. They need to be involved. Fitness and sports will make them not only physically, it's emotionally strong too. So that need to involve the parents need to play with them, go with them as much as good, and then in addition to that, emotional support. Emotional support, we forgot to do that. We forgot to give our kids emotional support. We are, they grew up in different culture. It's a two different generations. Their mindset, their demand, their feelings must be different than I do. So I need to respect their feelings, their emotion, their need, their expectation. So we can do as much as we try to understand on their level. Trust me, that will be a big difference between father and parents and kids relationship for the ultimate them to be successful. And sleep. Sleep is a powerful. Kids need to sleep like like a thief.
Yeah.
Now kids don't have time to sleep because they are busy with their tab, they're busy with all the devices, they're busy with playing so much. No, they need to sleep, to heal, to restore, regenerate their body system. And I think spirituality. Kids need to learn where we came from. We have a God who created us. We didn't come from nowhere. We have a God who created us. We have a God who give us all the sustenance. Nothing comes from nothing, nowhere. We need to teach them. Otherwise, they will be hopeless person. End of the day, they don't know their life strategy, life goal. We need to live in this world for a purpose, to achieve some goal, to make
Exactly.
to serve others. We are a human. We are not a robot. We are not a tree. Our human being need to help each other, make the better world. So they need to learn spirituality. They need to learn humanity to make the world better, to make them successful, a better human being. So then these are the things will be helpful for them to be successful.
Beautiful. And I agree with you, being from the U.S. originally too, and also being a congregational, which is basically Christian, is that we all have that same God, and that's how I look at it too. We all have to rely on our faith, and it doesn't matter what faith we are, and that's really the point that I want to get out to the world too, that we all are one in faith. If we all believe in a higher power, a God, that's very, very important to teach our children that. And then we'll have a much more peaceful world one day, and that's what we're creating now. So I'm so thankful that you brought me on the program too to interview you today and talk to you about all these important things.
Definitely.
And one more thing that I'd like to ask too, since we're also looking at seniors right now, especially what's going on with the pandemic, and I know one of your callers wanted to find out what supplements can we do today so that we can be safe, so that we can make sure our lungs are strong, because I work with a lot of lung patients now since COVID, and I'm, bringing them back, and COVID's going on and on and on. And just by having the right nutrients, by having the right, I work with frequencies, and frequencies are powerful for the lungs to help clear them. I also work with supplements that help that as well. So what would you suggest for a senior or someone that's in their 40s, 50s, 60s, at any age really, that would be the proper nutrition or supplements that they should be taking?
Definitely. Very important. Thank you for asking that.
Yes.
When the people get older, especially the seniors need special care. And we ignore that a lot of time because of our busyness. Because when they get older, their metabolism doesn't work well. they get a lot of joint issue, they get diabetes, they get depression, they become sometimes under the poverty, and they get, as you said, respiratory issue, they get heart disease, they get sometimes develop cancer, and sometimes they get brain issue, Alzheimer, dementia. You see, all kind of issues develop, and a lot of fungal patients I get, herpes patients, herpes virus. So those are the major issue I see in the society, and in this time we need to care them differently, special way. First of all, I would say air, respiratory issue, right? And in the world, the most among the men, number one death is coming from the respiratory issue. Why? Because they don't get enough air. They don't digest their food well. So they need to go out, get the fresh air, get the alkaline their body, so they don't need to die with a respiratory issue. So number three, I would say water. They don't hydrate their body. When they don't hydrate their body, what happens? They get dehydrated. Dehydrated body is acidic. They welcome all the disease. They don't eliminate well, So they get dehydrated. And the food, they need to have a certain food. Like when you have a disease, they need to cut down their carbohydrate enough. They need to control their food's intake too. They need to have a lot of plant-based food and enough healthy fat. Instead of that, like kids, they can have a lot of fruits, a lot of carb. But when they get older, they need to cut down the carb because they get insulin resistance, they get diabetes, they get all the indigestion problem. They get so they need to have enough plant-based food so that their digestion elimination works well. So in the sunlight, older people need to go sunlight. Then to improve their vitamin D, because vitamin D supplement is not going to be enough for all the time. And then exercise. They need to exercise, home, inside, resistance, running as much they can, as much they could, and then resting. Older people, a lot of time nowadays, I see they don't rest. They don't have time to rest. They're busy with their taking care of their grandkids, or they're not feeling too sleepy. They're busy with their other stuff. They need to sleep more than adults, because their bodies require more sleep, more water, more air, more exercise, more refreshment, more sunlight, more plant-based food. We need to understand that. And then they need to balance their emotion too. Because when they get older, men, women, both, they get emotionally unstable. They talk wrong, they think wrong, they act wrong. You see? So people who are responsible for them, we need to be careful on their mistakes. We need to respect on their mistakes as well. Not only supporting their food, though they need to take care of the emotional struggle they're having, right? And older people need to go spiritual practice. They need to go to their churches, mosque, and synagogue, whatever they go to. To make their emotionally stable, to get their friend, like-minded friend, they need to get a proper diet, proper lifestyle, spiritually completely. They can be better seniors in your life. In addition, they need to have a good supplement, as you mentioned. For instance, they need to have some vitamin D, they need to have some multimineral, multivitamin, immune support, they need to have liver support, they need to some digestive support, probiotic support. These all 5-6 support they need. I take care of my dad with me. Now he's traveling Bangladesh. I went there, I left him, he'll come back again, hopefully soon. So I give him 6-7 supplement all the time. Immune support, vitamin D, digestive support, and then probiotic. I give him multimineral. I give him, he has some kind of weakness, liver issue, like every week. So I give him liver support too. So then he can feel very well. He can eat like a little young man. He can feel much better than right now. So that's all I think we can do for the older adults and the seniors, so they can have a restful, like a healthy, better life when they retire or they become seniors.
Yeah, well, wonderful. Well, those are the questions that we wanted to ask today. And also I wanted to talk to some of the people here. And, we talked about constipation, and this lady here, or Asha Sidka. Mm-hmm. Excuse me if I said your name wrong, but I just wanted to make sure. But she does have a young son that's suffering, from constipation for the last 3 years. She's tried everything. I wonder if she's tried probiotics or digestive enzymes. that's something she could try. If there's anything else that you feel that would also work, also maybe apple cider vinegar, before the meals, like a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in water can also help. And also, isn't he probably acidic? So that's something that she said he drinks a lot of water, so you can see what he's doing there. Lots of fruits and vegetables. So he's doing all the right things, but probiotics, like I said, digestive enzymes, apple cider vinegar, because he has a lot of gas, that's also like GERD or, stop taking the ones that stop the acidic, which doctors say they believe you should take away the acidic by taking Tums, for example, right? And we believe, as naturopaths, the opposite, right? That there's not enough acid. Yeah. So is there anything else that you could recommend for them?
I have one thing to add to that. What is good is maybe you can also take some anti-allergic homeopathic.
It's called what?
Homeopathic medicine.
Oh, homeopathic.
Homeopathic medicine for kids' allergy works very well, like Nux Bomb, the sulfur, few others. You can try which one match very well. So homeopathic allergy makes inflammation, indigestion as well for long run, acid, gastritis or GERD. So as I said, I totally agree with you that they need to add some acid apple cider vinegar before having meal. Probiotic enzyme could be best bet.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
So let me get the question.
Yeah, go ahead. Got all kinds of good ones here.
Some say they always listen to us, which is very good. Someone said, can we get cholesterol video? Of course, we will do that. Definitely, we'll talk each health topic one by one. We're not giving you any medicine. We're not giving you any treatment. Just educational. Just giving some idea. How can you get better health?
I was going to ask you one more thing too. Can you give children cleanses in order to clear the colon too? Because we always recommend that as adults a lot of times to clear the colon. Can you do that for children too to help with digestive issues? Would you recommend?
For my kids, the older kids, like 9-10, I put in colon hydrotherapy. I manually colon hydrotherapy. I clean the colon a couple of times, and I'm thinking do very often, maybe once in a month for myself too. And for them, what else I do is I give them digestive like a amylase, protease, peptides, all kind of mix digestive enzyme.
Right.
So they can, if they digest well, they will eliminate well. They will feel well. And again,
Right.
I get very much success on giving them anti-allergy natural homeopath. Nux Bomb sulfur works very well.
Yeah, I agree with that too. And also reflexology. I'm a reflexologist.
Oh yeah.
And so that works beautifully with digestive issues too and colon issues. And I just work and I can just share so that woman can know, or that family is just working on the inside of your foot, which is your colon. Okay, so it's the lower end, it's the very center of your foot. And you just work it at the left side. You go up, you go across, and then you go across to the other foot. And you can get a reflexology chart. And you can literally push. You can find the areas, you can feel it in there where it's stuck. And that's a lot of times why kids have digestive issues too, or colon issues, is they can actually, like you said, you work with the colon, right? You actually push it through the colon. Well, you can do that in the feet too.
Yep.
So if you get a reflexology chart and then look for how to relieve the colon, and that will help also with digestive and constipation issues.
Okay.
I can recommend.
Yeah. So we'd like to thank you so much, everyone, for maybe you can answer one more question. Dr. Lori, can you answer one more question?
Okay, let's see. Let's see. There was one other one here. If I go backwards and see. Yeah, you go ahead. If you see one.
Someone saying that on the screen, you can see someone saying that if we heat olive oil, what happen? I mean, if you use like regular way,
Okay.
So olive oil is unsaturated. When you heat it up, it breaks down. So what you could do, if you want to cook your food, add at the end olive oil, or cook with a mustard oil. It has to be whole oil, not the processed one. Or cook with the coconut oil. Coconut oil is fully saturated. It doesn't break down. So olive oil you have to eat at the end, so it stay good to get the right nutrient from the.
What about treating the peptic ulcer? That's an important one. Caused by long-term use of aspirin. Intestinal bleeding is happening due to ulcer and blood thinner. Thank you, Amzad.
Yep.
What would you suggest for that?
Which one is it?
It says Amzad right here. Yeah, you got it.
I got it, yeah.
There it is.
How to naturally treat peptic ulcer long-term is aspirin. So if you take aspirin, it's gonna be happen not only peptic ulcer, lot of things gonna be happen. There's the medicine. We are naturopath, but we believe that medicine should not be taken for a long time, and even doctors don't want that either. So it's not only. So if you're taking medicine, of course you need to long run to improve your health. So you don't need to take medicine forever, right? So if you get peptic ulcer, intestinal bleeding is happening due to ulcer and blood thinner, of course. So if you have intestinal bleeding, you have to first of all fasting. Trust me, fasting. No food between you have 2 meals, and other than that, no food, so that you can give your body to heal the bleeding, the infection places, and then it's a very critical problem when you're bleeding. You got to be very careful, and you don't eat any food makes you allergic or immune response. So that is a lot of histamine, histamine and a lot of cytokine release. You don't want to make any discomfort in your digestive tract. So make sure you eat the food only is good for you. Even like if you feel bad after eating meat, don't eat meat, for example. So that you can give your body time to heal. And then what you do? You have an anti-inflammatory supplement. What is the supplement? Fish oil, fatty acid, and then ashwagandha, and then vitamin D. These are the anti-inflammatory, and what else? The turmeric, coconut oil. You take raw coconut oil. These things, anti-inflammatory, that's gonna heal your infection. Whenever any organ you support anti-inflammatory environment, that organ will heal itself. So there will be no more bleeding. Okay, there are many more. This is a quick tip.
Right. And he wants to know, how can you get rid of the blood thinner? And he wants to know, natural alternative aspirin is also feverfew, which is a good one. But how can you get off a blood thinner? Is that possible? Because I'm curious about that too.
Of course. So for the blood thinner, drink a lot of water. But it's not going to work if you don't have mineral in the body. So make sure before you eat water, get some kind of salt in the water. So that's going to come to your body alkaline. That's one thing. Second thing, blood thinner, you take a lot of herbal medicine, like a ginger, like a ginger, turmeric, and then garlic. They're the blood thinner. And then black seed oil, or black cumin oil, or black seed raw, chew and then eat. That's the blood thinner. You have to have a raw vegetable juice. You have to have a raw salad, also as a juice format. Both will help your blood alkaline, and it's going to be thin for long run. You have to have a very good digestive tract. That will help you for the thinning your blood as well. And always get hydrated. These are the quick tips. In the future, we're going to come back with a lot of more tips. Okay, Dr. Lori, maybe we can wrap up.
Yeah, I'd love to do it again. It's been great. Thank you for all your people here too. Great questions.